In this strange company, the age of the employees determined which floor they worked on. Today, the man happily went to the company carrying his briefcase. But when he passed the leader's office, he waved enthusiastically to greet the leader, who completely ignored him. Seeing this, the man had no choice but to leave dejectedly. He then arrived at his own office. He began to work, spreading out the crumpled papers that the leader had balled up and then ironing them flat again. Near the end of the workday, a designated person would come to collect the papers, and they never interacted with each other. But on this day, when the colleague collected the papers, one sheet accidentally fell to the floor. The man glanced at it and quickly picked it up, chasing after the colleague. He stood at the door and shouted loudly, but the other person completely ignored him. So, the man had no choice but to go to the colleague's office. But what he saw there shocked him. The ironed papers were being fed into a shredder one by one and torn to pieces. The man reluctantly grabbed one sheet, quickly confirming that it was the very paper he had just ironed. But the colleague just smiled at him and continued shredding the papers. Seeing this, the man didn't know what to do. After returning home, he received a package. Upon opening it, he found it was a 40th birthday gift from his mother, a black tie and the accordion that the man loved the most. He began to play with the accordion, but tears streamed down his face. Then he went to the storage room and found ties arranged in order from light to dark colors. He took out a tie, but in his anger, he kicked the briefcase inside. At that moment, he noticed a box. It was the accordion. So, the man began to play. The next day, the man went to the leader's office, but the leader immediately handed him a job promotion and pay raise certificate for his 40th birthday, and the colleagues around him clapped and celebrated. But the man didn't care about that. He immediately questioned the leader and forcibly tore off the leader's mask. To everyone's surprise, the original boss turned out to be a timid and cowardly person. Then, feeling frustrated, the man didn't continue to ask questions. He went to the elevator to go home. But at that moment, he suddenly became curious about what the 65th floor looked like, so he bravely pressed the highest floor button. As the elevator door opened, the man was startled. It turned out that the 65th floor had only one function: to dispose of people who no longer had the ability to work as if they were trash. Seeing this, the man prepared to run away, but then a mechanical arm stretched in and tightly hooked his tie. Fortunately, the man frantically pressed the closed door button. The elevator doors kept opening and closing, and he managed to destroy the mechanical arm. Another year passed, and the man turned 41, but he happily left the house. He arrived at the company entrance and began to play the accordion. However, the people around him were very indifferent, but in the end, he still moved others, and more people gathered around him to enjoy the music.